Coming up in today's compilation, guys, a really difficult one for Katie. She had to use 3 different tools to get this one out. And I've got sticky wax plugs, there you go, coming up as well. My name is Rhys, I'm one of the audiologists here at Audiology Associates. On my own today, flying solo, normally Taylor Green's with me, but he's on annual leave today, so you got me all week on my own. Katie's having a really, really good look. And I think this is always really important when you're starting off a wax removal. I like to get the lay of the land. I like to have a little look in there, you know, and say, well, as I'm looking, oh, okay, I can see first of all, what's the consistency? You know, what tool do I think is going to be the best to get this out? And where do I start with that tool? Those are the 3 questions I asked myself really before we start this. Now, Katie's gone straight in here with suction. And you can see we're getting this a lot of them, very sticky types of wax. We've had a bit of a heat wave here in the UK. And what we're finding is we produce, you know, you've got sweat producing glands, oil producing glands inside the ear canal, and you'll find that sometimes consistency can change, okay, with wax as well. But this is a kind of pasty, mushy type of wax, which is kind of, when you look at it, you're looking at the color as well as the consistency. So when you see this kind of really dark wax like this, normally to me, that would say this is going to be a slightly harder wax, okay? So you can see she's used a bit of microsuction. It's just so sticky, so pasty, it didn't really budge. Gone in now with a bit of irrigation, okay? So we've covered 2 different wax removal methods here so far. And what we've got now is this very deep, almost like a plug wrapped in skin. That's the way I want you to look at it, okay? So you've got this kind of hard plug in the middle, and then this skin coming around the outside, kind of just cutching it in, just holding it, Welsh for a hug, just cutching it in there. So what we're doing now, we're just kind of moving this. So Katie's doing really well. She's kind of trying to detach the skin. You can see that circular movement she's making there to try and detach these skin edges, to try and release the central plug. And there, she's broken a little bit off. You can see it looks quite red and irritated in there at the moment as well. But that's not unusual. The redness in this case is from the irrigation, okay? Because the irrigation, the water you put in's got to be body temperature. You know, you can't deviate too far from body temperature, otherwise the patient starts feeling really, really giddy. And what you'll see a lot of the times, you'll see the blood vessels start to come to the surface in the ear canal. That is quite common. That you saw that hard, it was blink and you miss it, unfortunately, but it was a really hard central core of wax, and you can see that layer now, that skin, that dead skin layer around the outside edge, which is what was holding this in. And that's one of the reasons why the irrigation didn't work particularly well. It did well to get rid of the mushier, stickier wax, but because water is not going to break down skin, you know, if it did, we dissolve every time we had a bath or a shower. So what you've got is you've got that sort of skin layer where the water couldn't penetrate through it, which was just holding that central plug in. Oh my goodness, this one's dark as well. Look at that. It's almost foreboding, doesn't it, as you go into that one. So this to me looks rock solid, and that's exactly what it was. Absolutely rock solid at the entrance there. Oh, we've got an armadillo type of wax, you know, and what I mean by that is we've got this really hard, outer layer of wax, this shell of hard wax, and then you've got this really soft kind of clay type consistency in the center. And does make it a little bit harder to remove. I know I say this a lot, but it does make it a little bit harder to remove, because what you have is you've got that hard core which doesn't which kind of responds well to suction, but then because of that clay interior, when you try and move that wax plug to detach it off the canal walls, what you're effectively doing is just moving the shell. The central core has a bit of flexibility to it. It's that clay type consistency, so it won't detach from the canal wall particularly well. So Katie's having to go in here and use, this is the Rhys curette, I believe. I don't think it's the Jobson horn, I think it's the Rhys curette, to try and scoop this wax out, almost like a digger, taking chunks and scooping through. We can see the eardrum just beyond. It's a bit dark in there because obviously all this wax is just kind of sucking up all the light in there, but you can see that eardrum beyond, and she's just detaching from this canal wall. She's doing a good job here, in fairness, because this is not an easy consistency to work with. So she's done well there. She's pulled most of this. Oh, that's a nice pull. That's exactly what you want to see. Where you see all the sides kind of pulling in, or sometimes you'll see it the whole thing will spin, and you'll get this kind of sliding movement to it, and that's when you know you've got it. But she did really well there. A little bit of tympanosclerosis, those white cloudy patches on the right hand side of the eardrum. They happen with age. Can happen following scarring as well, so that could be from infections, perforations, those kind of things, but more commonly with age, I would say, in most of what we see, unless there's obviously a history there. Ooh, good one. 7 and a bit centimetres. What's that, about 3 inches, 3 and a bit inches? So this is actually my patient now. Very sticky type of wax here, slightly narrower entrance to the canal. So I'm opting to use a bit of suction. I could have gone in with irrigation in fairness on this one. You can see that sheen. See how shiny that wax is? That's actually from oil use. Sometimes when you get that really shiny wax, it's going to be either well-oiled wax, which which luckily it was, thank goodness, or you can get a very hard wax, can sometimes give you that sheen. It tends to be one or two extremes. Either it's that really shiny, or it's kind of like a very dull matte colour. That'll be the two extremes you normally get. So what I'm doing here is trying to get the suction tube to do most of the work for me here. Just dropping onto it. It's a very thin consistency, very thin paste consistency, this one, with a little underlayer of dry skin mixed in, a smattering of dry skin in there as well. So what we're doing here is using that suction tube just to pull those softer, pastier bits in the middle out, and then I can peel that dead skin layer on the canal. So what you'll see me do is work the center first and then peel up the edges, then pull those out, work the center, peel up the edges. So this is what you're trying to do to detach this plug, because it is super sticky and it wants to hang on to that skin. You can see I'm lifting here, just trying to kind of pull this away. Look at that. It's kind of, this is the difficult thing with these kind of removals. You've got to unstick them from the canal wall, but because of the consistency and the pastiness of it, it doesn't want to pull away from the canal walls particularly well. So you have to keep working on this. Also being very, very mindful of the patient's comfort as well, because those canal walls are super sensitive. If you touch on them, it feels like a sharp, scratchy sensation. So it's almost like, you know those games you play where you've got to kind of get the metal hook and you mustn't touch the wire all the way through? It's a bit like that, you're doing that inside somebody's ear canal. Or operation, that's a better way of describing it. So with operation, you want to get the center section up but not touch the sides, and that's exactly what we're doing here as well. Patient's going to be hearing better because we can see the eardrum at the base and because the wax isn't actually stuck to the eardrum, but now we've got to pull this whole section down. There we go, it's on its way. Don't forget, guys, if you do enjoy the videos, I've said this a bit too late in the video for you really, but if you do enjoy the videos, you can always like, heart, share, follow and subscribe. If you really enjoy the videos, become a member of the channel. You'll get to see 2 more days worth of videos every single week as well, guys. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. And yeah, that's about it for that bit. Yeah. And also, guys, don't forget to pop your comments and your questions for Ask the Audiologist, the new name for Comment Corner. Make sure you pop that into the bottom section there, into the comment section for me, and you may get your questions popping up on the screen at the end of this video. You never know. Just pulling this last little bit, tidying up around the outside edge, bit of hoovering up, as we like to say here in the UK, and then you can see that lovely, clean looking eardrum. Now this one, see how the colour difference? The other one was a golden color, super shiny. Now see how this one's darker, but look at the consistency as well. Consistency's changed a little bit on this side. Slightly drier wax, slightly more solid wax on this side, and you can see not quite as shiny. So the patient has been using a lot of oil on the first side, not so much on the second. Looks like a welly boot. So we're just taking this last little bit out. There we go. Out that comes. And eardrum looking absolutely spot on. So 2.5 centimeters, 1 inch. That was on a bit longer, so I could actually read that one off. Okay, for Ask the Audiologist today, we have Chris Turner, -OP5CE. I know that hair is important for keeping dirt and debris out, but does it also keep the wax and skin from migrating out when the hair is really thick? Cracking question. The hair in the ear has a really important job. It's like you said, to stop dirt and debris from getting in. The counterpoint to that is if you end up with a very, very hirsute ear canal, so very, very hairy ear canal, the hairs will tend to kind of crisscross over another, especially if they're very dense, they'll sort of do this. And that can certainly stop the wax from exiting the ear canal. Not so much the skin, but more the wax from exiting the ear canal. So yeah, you can cause more problems with it if you get super, super thick hair. So yes, that will certainly do that. And Chevyman 3030, I've always wondered with such seasoned audiologists and ear cleaners, is that just by Let me read that again. I've always wondered, with such seasoned audiologists and ear cleaners, is that just from the symptoms alone, can you tell if the current patient you have will be a very easy case, under 5 minutes, or a very hard case, multiple visits, or all added? Not so much from just the symptoms, because you can get a very small piece of wax that can cause all sorts of problems if it's very deep inside the ear canal. I would certainly say from your initial observation, you can. Like for instance, I had a patient come through the other day, a young chap, feeling blocked up, but not really giving kind of extreme symptoms, and took a look in his ears, and the wax was black. I mean, it was just so dark, which means a very, very old, dried out wax, and absolutely solid. And I could see that was going to be a real difficult one. And just to give you an idea, that patient's actually come back twice so far for us to remove the wax. Got super dizzy on the first attempt when we tried to take it out. Second attempt, cleared one ear, but cleared 3/4 of the other ear, but there's still a last piece. So that person had to come back for three follow-ups. And I knew that was going to be a tough case when I looked in the ear. So more so from looking in the ear than from the symptoms themselves. But great questions, guys. So make sure you keep those coming in the comment section. We really do like answering those ones for you as well. But until next time, guys, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And I shall see you for the next video. Bye, everybody.